Speaking of really important problems, AI. So you have been outspoken about AI. Could you talk about what you think the positive future for AI looks like and how we get there?
Okay, I mean, I do want to emphasize that this is not really something that I advocate, or this is not prescriptive. This is simply hopefully predictive. Because people sometimes say, well, like this is something that I want to occur instead of so this is something I think that probably is the best of the available alternatives. Um, the best of the available alternatives that I can come up with, and maybe somebody else can come up with a better approach or better outcome, is that we achieve democratization of AI technology, meaning that no one company or small set of individuals has control over advanced AI technology. I think that that's very dangerous. Um, it could also get stolen by somebody bad, like some evil dictator of a country could send their intelligence agency to go steal it and gain control. It just becomes a very unstable situation, I think, if you've got um, any incredibly powerful AI. Um, you just don't know who's going to control that. So it's not as though I think that the risk is that the AI would develop a will of its own right off the bat. I think it's more that's the concern is that someone may use it in a way that is bad. And even if they weren't going to use it in a way that's bad, that somebody could take it from them and use it in a way that's bad. That I think is quite a big danger. So I think we must have democratization of AI technology and make it widely available. And that's the reason that obviously Yumi and the rest of the team created OpenAI, was to help with the help spread out AI technology so it doesn't get concentrated in the hands of a few. But then of course that needs to be combined with solving the high bandwidth interface to the cortex. Um,
Humans are so slow.
Humans are so slow. Yes, exactly. Um, but we already have a situation in our brain where we've got the cortex and limbic system, and the limbic system is kind of that's the primitive brain. It's kind of like your instincts and whatnot, and then the cortex is the thinking upper part of the brain. Those two seem to work together quite well. Occasionally, your cortex and limbic system may disagree, but
It
I
generally
think
works pretty well.
generally works pretty well. And it's like rare to find someone who I've not found someone who wishes to either get rid of their cortex or get rid of their limbic system.
Very true.
Yeah, that's unusual. So I think if we can effectively uh, um, merge with AI by improving the neural link between your cortex and your digital extension of yourself, which already, like I said, already exists, just has a bandwidth issue, and then effectively you become an AI human symbiote, and if that then is widespread with anyone who wants it can have it, then we solve the control problem as well. We don't have to worry about some sort of evil dictator AI, because kind of we are the AI collectively. That seems like the best outcome I can think of.
So you've seen other companies in their early days that start small and get really successful. Hope I know we're asking this on camera, but how do you think OpenAI is going as a 6-month-old company?
It seems to be going pretty well. I think we've got a really talented group at OpenAI,
It
and
seems like it.
yeah, really talented team, and they're working hard. Um, OpenAI is structured as, say, a 501c3 nonprofit, but many nonprofits do not have a sense of urgency. It's fine; they don't have to have a sense of urgency, um, but OpenAI does. Because I think people really believe in the mission. I think it's important, and it's about minimizing um, the risk of existential harm in the future. And so I think it's going well. I'm pretty impressed with what people are doing and the talent level. And obviously, we're always looking for great people to join who
We're up
believe
to
in the
like
mission.
close to 40 people now.
Yeah.
It's going well. All right, just a few more questions before we wrap up. How do you spend your days now? Like, what do you allocate most of your time to?
My time is mostly split, well, it's split between SpaceX and Tesla, and of course I try to spend it's a part of every week at OpenAI. So I spend basically half a day at OpenAI most weeks, and then I have some OpenAI stuff that happens during the week. But other than that, it's really
And what do you do
SpaceX
when
and
you're at
Tesla.
SpaceX or Tesla? Like, what does your time look like there?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think a lot of people think I must spend a lot of time with media or on businessy things, but actually almost all my time, like 80% of it, is spent on engineering and design. Engineering and design. So it's developing next generation product. That's 80% of it.
You probably don't remember this. A very long time ago, many, many years, you took me on a tour of SpaceX. And the most impressive thing was that you knew every detail of the rocket and every piece of engineering that went into it. And I don't think many people get that about you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think I'm kind of a business person or something, which is fine. Like, business is fine, but but really, it's it's like at SpaceX. Gwynne Shotwell is chief operating officer. She kind of manages legal, finance, sales, and kind of general business activity. And then my time is almost entirely with the engineering team, working on improving the Falcon 9 and the Dragon spacecraft, and developing the Mars colonial architecture. And then at Tesla, it's working on the Model 3 and some in the design studio, typically half a day a week, dealing with aesthetics and look and feel things, and then most of the rest of the week is just going through engineering of the car itself, as well as engineering of the factory, because the biggest epiphany I've had this year is that what really matters is the machine that builds the machine, the factory, and that is at least 2 orders of magnitude harder than the vehicle itself.
It's amazing to watch the robots go here and these cars just happen.
Yeah. Now, this actually has a relatively low level of automation compared to what the Gigafactory will have and what Model 3 will have.
What's the speed on the line of these cars?
Actually, the average speed of the line is incredibly slow. It's probably about, including both X and S, it's maybe 5 centimeters per second.
And what can you get to?
This is very slow.
Or what would you like to get to?
I'm confident we can get to at least 1 meter per second, so a 20-fold increase.
That would be very fast.
Yeah. At least. I mean, I think 1 meter per second, just to put that in perspective, is a slow walk, or like a medium speed walk. A fast walk could be 1.5 meters per second. And then the fastest humans can run over 10 meters per second. So if we're only doing 0.05 meters per second, that's very slow, current speed. And at 1 meter per second, you can still walk faster than the production line.